Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Everybody, and welcome to the Sports Podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is the Sports Outsider, one Philip J. Ranta.
My middle name does not start with a J.
What does your middle name start with?
An E.
Fucking don't care.
Philip E.
Yeah,
Ranta?
there it is.
Edward?
Huh?
Edward?
Close. Got the
Edwin.
first three. There we go. Edwin.
Your middle name is Edwin.
I've told you this like 30 times in the past 10 years we've known each other.
I feel like I blank it out every time so I can have the joy of learning it the first time over and over again.
That's fine.
It's a
Edwin.
great
Yep,
middle
it's
name.
a great middle name. It's a strong, almost royal, almost regal.
Yeah.
Is it a family name?
It is a family name, yeah. My grandfather's name, may he rest in peace.
I'm
What is
getting
it?
royal, but more of like a foppish hemophiliac royal.
Okay, I just said that my dead grandfather had that name. Jerk.
Oh, you're fine.
I made Joel feel uncomfortable.
Hey, sports, right?
Right.
For reals.
Yeah, but I'm the outsider. I don't know much about it.
You see any games this week?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I saw something on Facebook that
Yeah, you
indicated
did.
this.
I went to go see the Dodgers play the Tigers.
Oh my gosh, I didn't do that. I'm
Yep.
kind of pissed, but I didn't do that. Who'd you go with?
The Second City. It was the Second City alumni night.
I wanted to get those tickets too.
What were your
but I'm not
impressions
a
of the
Second City
baseball
alum.
game?
I had 2 Dodgers dogs and 2 very large beers.
Wonderful.
And the Tigers won in overtime.
Was it one of those
Extra
things
innings.
where
So you went last night.
you kept getting food from the concession stands and then you got sleepy around the 7th inning and fell asleep? And
No,
someone's
I was
like,
awake the
"We're
whole
gonna have
time.
to carry him to the car.
I was awake the whole time. I'm not whispering to not wake up past me that could have been. No, it was fun. I had fun. It was a good view, and like they were hitting, like the Tigers were up 6-3, and then in the bottom of the 9th, the Dodgers came back and tied it to 6-6.
First career home run for Nick Castellanos.
Sure.
Drew Smiley pitched 3 scoreless innings.
Haha.
Johnny Manziel, update, watch, update.
Johnny Manziel, update, watch, update. Brought to you by
Bags. Put your apples or oranges in a bag, but not together.
You could put him in a bag.
You could put
together.
them in a bag together.
Not according to the jingle.
I did not know the bag council
Little
was
bit
so
of a-
into fruit
It
segregation.
was a dated jingle. It
Did
was
we?
back when they.
Did we know that when we took him on as sponsors?
As long as the checks say payable to Sports Podcast.
I don't know. What if they wind up saying something like really offensive?
Oh, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
that
let's
would be
really hope
awkward
that
for all of
doesn't
us.
I would hate that to be a setup to a payoff.
Yep.
The Johnny Football Road Show is coming to a city near you, provided that city had a really shitty football team last year.
Hey.
So Johnny Manziel, he's been all over the country now. You got the NFL draft coming up, and before the draft, the top players will meet with several teams.
Yeah.
Getting evaluated by him. So he's basically been going around to meet all these meet all these teams,
Yep.
and make an even worse name for millennials in the process.
Oh,
Sure.
good.
So with that in mind, let's take a look at where he's been
Yeah.
and where he's traveling to, and just how has he
Yeah.
acted like an entitled white guy in a trucker hat.
I can't wait to hear it.
First, went to New England.
Ooh.
Boston, Foxborough.
Why is he going there?
He met with Patriots personnel.
How on earth do they think that they'd be able to draft him?
While there, he took a hot dog bun, put his dick in it, and walked around to anybody who would listen saying, "How's this for a lobster roll? Check it seriously. I sunburned my dick tanning, so this really works."
Yeah, it'd have to be very red.
Yeah.
to be a
Terrible.
lobster roll.
Yeah.
Then he met with the Minnesota Vikings head coach, Mike Zimmer, who he referred to during the interview interchangeably as Coach Zipper and Coach Hummer. Afterwards, the two went to dinner, and sources indicate Coach Zimmer had to twice talk Manziel out of a dine and dash.
Oh, wow.
He should pay for his food.
Yeah, isn't the team paying anyway?
That's basically
Well, one thing about Johnny Manziel, good foot speed, especially
Yeah,
for a quarterback.
good
So
foot
maybe not
speed.
such a bad idea.
A trip to Oakland followed, in which Johnny Football constantly referred to the area as Gay Town, presumably referring to Oakland's across-the-bay neighbor, San Francisco.
Sure.
When this was pointed out to Manziel, he put his sunburned dick in a hot dog bun and said, "Lobster roll time!"
which is like a callback, but there's not so many lobsters in the Pacific.
No, I think it's not a callback. I think he only has that joke.
Yeah,
that's it for
him. He kind of has one speed.
Yeah.
He appeared on. He went to Jacksonville. Home of the Tim Tebow movement.
No.
Enemy territory, as it were.
Yeah.
Row.
He went on a local radio show. It referred to the city as Jack-Offville.
Oh, Johnny.
But local radio morning show, uproarious laughter.
Right, because
okay.
that's their speed.
Yeah.
Right there.
And actually, Houston is next on the docket.
That's, hometown Houston. Well, not his hometown,
Not
but close
his
enough.
hometown, but
yeah.
many fans want the Texans to draft the native Texan who, led Texas A&M to become an SEC power in the first 2 years.
I was not expecting that at all.
Authorities are already preparing Houston's George Bush Airport for crowds of Texas football fans chanting, "Lobster roll! Lobster roll! Lobster roll!"
They love that joke there.
yeah.
They can't get enough of his
Is
joke
it the
there.
George Bush Airport in
It
Houston?
is. It used they
Herbert
closed Hobby.
Walker?
Yeah, they closed Hobby. And it was Houston Intercontinental. They renamed it. I did a Wikipedia search for this story.
When did that happen?
Probably
been
after
too
his
long.
presidency.
Probably after.
Yeah. So before that, they're like, let's name it after the head of the CIA.
Yeah. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah,
and in
Herbie
retrospect,
walks.
it was a pretty smart move in Houston's part. Once he got elected president, they were like, yeah. They were totally hipster about him.
Also, wait till he's done, with his job.
Yeah.
You don't want a Pete Rose Way situation.
Right.
You don't want a Joe Paterno statue situation.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You don't want to have to name an airport and then rename it something else.
Or like Edward Snowden International Airport.
Yeah.
They were sure he was going to be president someday.
Johnny Manziel, update, watch, update.
Johnny Manziel, update, watch, update. Brought to you by...
Bags. Put him over the head of somebody who's not the same race as you.
No,
Whoa.
do not, no.
What?
I cannot emphasize
That
this
was
enough.
horrible.
First of all,
You were right, Joel. It can't
racism
get
aside,
worse.
this is a public health thing. Nobody put your head in a plastic bag.
No.
You do not
Well,
put
luckily
someone
they didn't
else's.
say a plastic bag. It might be a canvas. It
Could
might
be any
breathable.
sort of
Oh,
bag.
just don't put your head in a bag. Don't put anyone's head in
Beyond
a bag.
that just seems like such a weird sort of application of racism.
Yeah. Well, I
Bags
guess,
on heads?
Well, his only way of speaking was through bags, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
so.
if you're racist and you are looking for ways to promote bags, that would be one
That's
way
it.
to do
That's the end of the road for him.
It's a big problem in the South.
That is a big problem.
I guess, well, I mean, they've already paid us for the next 3 weeks. So
What do we got on the show today?
Well, we have, is it Francis Guggenheim?
Francis
Yep,
Guggenheim
Francis
back
Guggenheim.
on. One of the members of the ownership group that bought the Dodgers.
Right,
last
Guggenheim
year.
and Associates, right? Or
Yep.
something?
No connection to the New York Museum.
Right.
Right.
But
Not those Guggenheims.
Yeah, he's
Right.
gonna come talk to us about. It's a new season of baseball. I guess he might be settling into his new role as an owner of a baseball team, and he's gonna talk to us about some of the new sort of concession stand offerings.
That
and
sounds
and,
awesome.
Yeah, I can't
promotional
wait.
days at.
I was
Dodger
just
Stadium.
there, so I got to experience it.
Oh, right, absolutely.
I'll have a lot to talk to
You'll
him about.
be getting burritos.
Oh,
You will not
jeez.
be here during
Jeez,
this
oh, Pete,
time.
I actually have something to talk to
You
him
are
about this time.
very rude to the guests.
Gosh,
very
darn it.
frequently.
Gosh darn it.
On the rare
Oh,
occasion
gee.
that we let you stay for an interview, you immediately remind us why we don't do that.
Yeah, that's because I just hate people so much. You hear that, fans of Sports podcast? I hate people.
Hey, but do you like weird people?
I do.
What if those weird people played sports?
If they were like some sort of peculiar athletes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like an odd competitive athlete.
Right, like a
Yeah.
weird sportsman.
Right, we got one of those.
Then I would talk about him for 7 minutes.
Oh,
That
wow.
got part 2 of the one
Greatest
that we were doing
segue.
last
Oh,
week.
right,
Got
Mike Tyson. Hey, this
yeah.
is the lighter side.
the
Yes.
lighter side of Mr. Tyson.
All right. And then news.
Yep. News on the Sports podcast with Jordan, Joel, and Phil.
News. UConn wins national championship.
Whoa.
March Madness ends in a bracket bloodbath. All the Starks are dead. And your final 4 picks, history.
Even Aria?
Come on, Phil.
Oh.
What are you doing? I'm a little behind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
UConn beat Kentucky 60-54 in a game that they never trailed. This was the first time ever a national title game did not have at least a 1, 2, or 3 seed. This, of course, resulted in a championship game of 2 unknowns, UConn and Kentucky.
Never heard of him.
The UConn Huskies basketball team defeated the Kentucky Wildcats, earning the school's 4th national championship since 1999. It represents the first time they've won since longtime coach Jim Calhoun stepped down. Calhoun,
That's right.
incidentally, is the sound huskies make at night.
Calhoun.
Google News.
Yep.
So they won.
Yeah.
But really, just a year ago, it shows you how quickly things can change. Just a year ago, they were in rough shape. They were booted from the Big East, allegedly for taking communion without attending confession earlier in the week.
Oh my God!
They should have been booted.
They
Regular
joined.
Paternos over there, right?
Yeah, you're gonna take communion, confession earlier in the week.
Right.
It's the kind of thing. They joined the new American Athletic Conference, which has institutions like the University of Central Florida.
Oh, fine.
You see,
basketball program.
I think it's just getting rougher here. You're booted out of the Big East for not being Catholic enough.
Yep.
Now you're in a conference with University of Central Florida. Jim Calhoun, the longtime head coach who built the program, left over health issues associated with saying his name like a husky.
Calhoun.
I'm kidding. He left because he had cancer.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's even
significantly
worse. Believe
And then they were banned from March Madness over grades problems, which nearby Yale had a repressed, emotionless laugh about at them.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah, it was
That one?
that was yeah.
Yeah.
You know men of Yale.
Yeah, I do.
You know those Yaleys.
Yeah.
And all of these problems led to 5 key players leaving to go to other schools or organizations.
Holy crap.
The most notable of which is the National Basketball Association.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So they lost a lot of key players, and yet they still were able to win.
Good for them.
Yeah.
That's a Rudy story.
No,
if
not
I've
good
ever
for
heard one.
them.
What
Oh.
did you have Kentucky winning it all in your bracket, or
No, but
why do you care that what's
they
your
bounced state.
I
Oh.
came
I'm
in,
still
I came
bitter.
in 4th in my bracket out of 12 in my office.
That's pretty good. I
That's
finished
pretty-
I had
finished 3rd out of 8?
Hey, there we go. My ratio's a little better, but there you go.
I had Kansas over Duke in the final game in all my brackets. So guess what? Didn't work out.
Of course,
Yikes.
while his team lost, John Calipari, Kentucky's head coach, absolutely killed at the press conference.
Hey.
When asked about the future of his wildly talented and incredibly young team, Calipari was heard to wryly remark, "I think all these kids are coming back, so I think we should be good."
Good one.
The story notes that this got a huge laugh. He then called the group the most coachable bunch he ever had, but, you got the laughter, showmanship. You go out in the laugh line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Exactly. I think they all should be back. Good night, reporters. That's that. Wait. More UConn basketball.
What?
Oh yeah.
UConn women's basketball wins national championship too.
What?
This is their second college basketball double, isn't it?
Wow.
It is. They also petitioned the NCAA to take the cutesy TOO off the women's trophy.
Yeah, that's smart.
The
Like
women's
Luke was
basketball.
talking to.
It says
Yeah.
national championship, like lowercase t, lowercase o, lowercase o,
Right.
Yeah.
exclamation
in
point.
different colors that look like crayon.
Kind of demeaning.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Also, the Hello Kitty shirts they had out afterwards to
yeah,
show the championship.
yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
demeaning. So it was their first national title matchup between 2 undefeated teams. UConn defeated Notre Dame and improved to 40-0, while the Fighting Irish fell to 37-1, and that one really hurts, don't it?
Oh,
It's always the one.
UConn outscored Notre Dame 32-10 in the paint in the first half because nothing says women's basketball quite like layups.
Yeah.
I agree.
Actually, no, there's one more thing that says
Buzzer
women's
beaters.
basketball. No,
Oh, okay.
it's women's basketball.
Oh, okay.
Passing. UConn had 25 assists.
Holy shit.
For comparison's sake, John Calipari once had a nightmare that his Kentucky team finished a game with 20.
Wow. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Wow.
No, both in the men's national title game, both UConn and Kentucky combined for 19 assists.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Gino Ariema, UConn's head coach, won his 9th national championship with UConn, a new record that passes Tennessee and longtime Tennessee great Pat Summitt.
Yeah.
Once again establishing the third grade adage that still rings true today: boys are better than girls. Sorry,
So
Pat.
he cleared that summit.
At some things.
Phil with the feminist content.
It's also his,
Thank you.
at something.
right. But Notre Dame's head coach has been there a while too, and she's an up and comer. She's the head coach, and she's also the newest Sesame Street character, Muffet McGraw.
Her
Ooh,
name.
that's
Wait,
fun.
her name's Muffet.
Muffet McGraw.
Did she sit in a tuffet?
Actual name, Muffet McGraw.
Is she a quick draw?
No.
Okay.
Especially. Not especially.
Okay.
The victory the day after the men's mean that UConn has both national championship winners in basketball for the second time.
Yeah.
They're the only school to ever do it.
That's a hell of an achievement.
Which means one thing. Caligula-style invitation-only orgy.
That's how it should be.
I would
Right.
love to be at that orgy.
Jointly hosted by the men and women's basketball team.
Right, but they don't participate. They're just hosting. They serve
What
the
if-
beverages.
No.
Oh, okay.
What if
Ground
they-
rules are simple. Real quick.
Yeah.
Varsity athletes get priority. Nobody from the School of Engineering.
Okay.
Each team gets 10 vetoes.
Oh, great. And on the
Use
guys'
them
team,
wisely.
no passing, right?
No passing on the
Yeah.
guys' team.
Okay, joining us now, multi-billionaire and part owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, one Francis Guggenheim.
Hello, Joel Anderson. Hello, Jordan Pomaville. It's good to be
You're
here.
a representative here from the Guggenheim Group.
Yes, not that Guggenheim, though.
No.
Yes, the
Yes.
other Guggenheim.
Yep, the other Guggenheim.
The other sort of the
Not the same family.
yes, the other famed
Yes.
Guggenheim family of great wealth over
Yes.
many generations.
No, I am one of the owners of the what you call Dodgers, or as
Yes.
I've heard often said in the stadium, the Yayers.
It's,
I think
Yes.
you're mishearing them. They
I've
say
learned how to
Dodgers.
pronounce it the way that the fans do. They go Yayers, like that.
they do sort of.
Yes,
you know.
they do.
Well, you have the team with the largest payroll in baseball by leaps and
Absolutely.
bounds.
That's large.
It-
That payroll.
Yeah,
actually
that's
the largest.
Hold
most-
on, let me write this with my golden quill somewhere. That's
largest
large. Okay,
payroll
good.
in baseball. You hope you're going to win some games.
Oh, I know we're gonna win some games because we're all about fan spirit at the Dodgers.
I was going to
Yeah.
say,
Yep.
what are
We
you
bleed
doing for the fans?
blue?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Well,
not
so-
just because we're a bunch of blue bloods.
It sounds like in addition to spending heavy on the team, you have decided to also spend heavily on redoing the sort of entire fan experience at
Oh
the
yes,
stadium.
absolutely. You might notice some changes if you've been around. Some people said, "Oh, there's clearly been different things that I've seen this year." And
Yeah.
as you know, in the past, some people have described me as a little out of touch.
It's aloof.
I would
Yeah.
say stuffy. Sometimes
Yes,
it comes across as a little
sometimes,
stuffy.
which I don't understand why they would say that.
Well,
I'm
you're-
just like you.
You're a Yale grad,
But I am a
primarily.
Yaley. Yes,
But didn't stay in the dorms there. You do seem fairly separated from the sort of world that average Americans or working class Americans are living in. It just
Yes.
seems like you're disconnected from
which
that.
is why I decided to make a couple of gestures that shows that I'm just like one of you, and one of you, Jordan.
Oh, me too.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So some more
Like
stuff
what?
geared towards the working class.
Yes, absolutely. So the first thing I learned is I one day I was happening by one of your Mr. Taco Bell's restaurants.
Just Taco Bell.
Yep.
Just Taco Bell.
And I caught a glimpse of something that someone was eating in his hand that looked like tin foil and garbage with steam coming off of it. And he was eating it and smiling and saying, "Oh, goodness, this is delicious." And I went, "Aha! What we're going to start doing along with the Yayer dogs is
Yeah.
also serve a tinfoil and garbage special. And people can order and eat it because I know how much the non-rich love tinfoil and garbage with steam coming off of it.
So the garbage is going to be served hot.
Oh, it'll be hot garbage.
You
yes.
say garbage, but like in Chicago, they have a garbage-style pizza. It means pizza supreme. So I'm assuming,
Yep.
what do you actually mean when you say tinfoil?
It means that we go to
what's
a dumpster.
what's in that?
we go to a dumpster and find something mushy. And then we steam it and put it in foil. Just like your Mr. Taco Bell's.
No,
I think you
you're-
have a
you're
very
really-
twisted view of what Taco Bell.
you've
Well, actually,
clearly-
you're not that off base on the Taco Bell assessment.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
going to differ with the Taco Bell, but people don't eat
People don't
garbage.
eat garbage.
Oh, well, I will see how it goes after I start selling it. I did become a rich man through commerce.
Oh, you did, but I don't
Yes.
think you were selling garbage to eat. Okay, let's
Let's move on. What else do you have?
Oh, there's another thing that I learned living around you people, not amongst, of course,
Yeah,
is that people love things for free.
that's absolutely
Yes,
true.
yes.
And
And-
everybody
and-
loves things for free.
And
Everyone
I
loves
have heard
promotions.
purely anecdotally that they give away free things to people upon their admittance to the gate of Yayer Stadium.
Oh yeah, you get like bobbleheads, you get towel day, they get the mini
Yeah.
bat day. There's all sorts of stuff.
Yes. So I was happening upon a bathhouse one day, and I noticed somebody wearing leather slapping someone in the face, and the guy seemed to be enjoying it very much. Yep, right outside of a Greek bathhouse.
Okay.
Man wearing leather slapping another man.
No, we got that.
And they enjoyed
Yeah.
it very much.
Okay, I'm not sure how this is going to
I
apply.
think this
to
is
Free
others.
slaps in the face day.
I think that's a very
That's-
specific taste thing.
Upon coming into the stadium, they say, welcome, please enjoy the live event. Slap, slap, slappity slap. Right in the face. And people will go, boy, was that fun.
Yeah,
Just
boy.
like when I visit the Greek bathhouse with my family.
I think
two
a
things.
minority of people will enjoy that. I
Oh,
don't
I think the minorities will
that
enjoy
is
it. I think
not
white
what
people
I
will
said.
enjoy
No,
it.
that's
That is
not what
not
he
what I
said.
said at all.
Yeah, it's
you know what?
listen, again, you just seem wildly out of touch with the working class. I don't think they're going to enjoy that at all, Francis. Just like
I don't
any other
even think this
person.
is a
Well, that
class thing.
one
I don't think
gentleman
anyone's
had-
going to like getting slapped in the face, Joel.
Like you wouldn't want to get slapped in the face, would you?
Well, of course not, but I'm a different type of person.
not.
I
as
grew up
much
in a
as you
land
think.
where nobody slapped each other in the face lest they lose their hand.
Also, I don't think you're going.
Unless it's just their glove, in which case they want to duel.
all right. Well,
Also, I got a point. I don't think you're going to a Greek bathhouse. Oh, I mean, it might also be a Greek bathhouse, but I think that the distinction for the. You know what? I'm just going to move on.
Let's move on.
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
That sounds like a perfect idea.
What
Joe.
else
So
are you
what
doing
else are you
to-
doing to sort of try and connect to the fans?
There was one day where after a game was played, I allowed my servants to set me down so that I could walk amongst the stadium. And one thing that I noticed is the seats are made of very hard plastic.
That's true. They're
Which made
extremely
me think,
uncomfortable.
aha! Normal people must love sitting on uncomfortable chairs.
That's not true at all.
They must love it because so many of them come into the stadium and pay what they consider to be a lot of money.
yeah.
You know, 5 or 6 pence to go sit on these very hard chairs.
It's first of all that you're charging a lot more than that for tickets. Just
I'm
so we're
putting
clear.
spikes on all the chairs.
That's okay.
Metal spikes on all of the chairs.
That's not.
If they like uncomfortable chairs, they
Why-
must love painfully uncomfortable chairs.
Why? Okay.
Well, I feel like we're on a pain bent right
Yeah.
now. We
What-
got
what-
the slapping, we got the spikes in the chairs.
Well, if they didn't like pain, why wouldn't they make more money?
That's. I mean, I can't even begin to answer that question.
Is there anything you're doing that the fans might appreciate, that they actually might
That would
enjoy?
make their
that would
experience
You mean
better.
something where I'm giving back.
Yes,
Yes.
that'd be great. That'd be a real good show of good faith.
Oh, one time I was having my servant flip through channels on the television because I like to watch the flashing lights, and then we came amongst a program where a bunch of very disheveled people were being served soup in a line.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
A big soup line.
It's
They
a-
were scraggly, and they were wearing newspapers around their belts, and they were being served
It
soup.
sounds like a soup kitchen. We're
Sounds
homeless
like
Yes,
a-
it was a kitchen full of soup.
Almost sounds like a Great Depression documentary.
Yes, it might have been. It was in black and white.
Okay, all right. That's. I mean, there are still soup kitchens, but that I mean, probably not to the degree that there was depicted.
Soup
in-
kitchens in every lobby at Yair Stadium.
That's not
Free soup.
terrible.
Wait a minute, Joel.
Giving back.
Yeah.
He's giving out
Free soup.
free soup.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, Jordan.
Water.
Jordan, what kind of soup?
Well, the only kind of soup I've ever eaten. It's full of roast pygmy duck with gold flakes spread on top of it. And of course, only the finest cabbages grown organically in the finest gardens.
That actually that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm kind
You
of.
know,
Yeah.
soup.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, there's going to be diamond garnish inside of it.
I think this is a wonderful idea.
You
Some
don't
free-
eat the diamonds, of course.
No, it's a garnish.
Right, it's just
But
a
and it's for the
garnish.
fans, and any fan can
It's
get
just for the fans, because I see how you people gobble up your brothy soups, as I do for any appetizer, for my 6-course meals.
this. So for the record, any fan can just go to the
As
concourse
much soup
course
as
and
they'd
grab-
like. I know how you normal people just line up wearing your newspaper belts so that somebody wearing netted stockings on their heads can serve you soup.
Well, you know, I didn't think we were going to get to actual progress in this.
Yeah,
but
but
I
this
think
is-
some semblance of it.
People will really like this.
You're welcome.
Not as much as they're going to hate everything else that you've proposed, but they will like this.
Yes, they'll love it eating it upon their spiky seats, yes. Right after the slap to the face.
I don't think you should do that every game.
I don't think you should do that any game.
Actually, in fact, I think, you know what? We appreciate your time, Francis. You're clearly a very busy man. You didn't get rich by talking to people on podcasts.
That's true.
assume.
I got rich by selling foil inside steaming garbage inside a foil.
Don't believe that is true.
I started Mr. Taco Bell.
Actually, I believe your family's wealth comes from the slave trade.
I have to go.
All right. Thank you very much,
goodbye,
Francis.
Goodbye. For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook. And now it's time for another Weird Sportsman! Weird Sportsman.
Okay, part 2.
This week's Weird Sportsman, Mike Tyson. Part 2.
Previously on Weird Sportsman.
Previously on Weird Sportsman.
There was a very offensive piece on the Sports podcast.
Yeah, it wasn't even comedy.
No.
I don't know that the piece was offensive.
I think it was.
I mean, okay, the actions were offensive.
Yeah.
We were simply
He
describing
raped
them.
and
Don't
he
think we should have
beat.
headlined it as a comedy segment. And
Right.
then-
No.
Well,
It's
I mean,
not. It's just
arguably
weird.
we did not headline it as a comedy segment.
Right.
I mean,
But
it
as
is
with
a comedy show.
as with all people with a troubled past, he's getting a comeback.
Oh, this is wonderful. This will
Yep.
be good. And maybe not that weird.
Nope. After being paroled from prison, Tyson easily won his comeback bouts against Peter McNeely and Buster Mathis Jr. Tyson's first comeback fight grossed more than $96 million worldwide, including a United States record $63 million in pay-per-view television. The fight was purchased by 1.52 million homes using both pay-per-view viewership and revenue records.
Which is interesting because the guy they put him up against was a total patsy.
Yeah, the 89-second fight elicited criticism that Tyson's management lined up tomato cans, in parentheses, to ensure easy victories for his return.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wondered about this. Like, how does it feel to be the boxer that they approached to be Tyson's first fight back?
How's it feel to be a guy who drops $80 on pay-per-view to get a 90-second fight?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I hear that, but also, I mean, that's like, as soon as you'd be like, Tyson wants to fight you, and you'd be like, so they think I'm the worst boxer available.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like Glass Joe.
yeah.
Gotta give him a couple Glass Joes.
How much is the payout? Oh, okay.
I'll get beat to death for that much. Perfect. But then he fought a bunch of tomato cans, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of people they weren't going to punch back until Tyson v. Holyfield won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tyson attempted to defend a WBA title against Evander Holyfield, who was the fourth fight of his own comeback. Holyfield had retired in 1994 following the loss of his championship to Michael Moore. It was said that Don King and others saw former champion Holyfield, who was 34 at the time of the fight, as a huge underdog, as a washed-up fighter. But
not correct.
not correct, no. On November 9th, 1996, Las Vegas, Nevada, Tyson faced Holyfield in a title bout dubbed Finally, the most passive-aggressively named.
Was it in italics, too?
Yeah, it was. Finally. In a surprising turn of events, Holyfield, who was virtually given no chance to win by numerous commentators, defeated Tyson by TKO when referee Mitch Halpern stopped the bout in round 11.
Well, say, Phil, why'd he stop
Why
the
did he stop the bout?
Well, this was the first one. It was just because he was winning.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So what, did they ever fight again?
Tyson versus Holyfield 2 and aftermath.
Yes. Okay. Here we go.
All right, Tyson and Holyfield fought again in June 28th, 1997. Originally, Halpern was supposed to be the referee, but Tyson's camp protested, and he stepped aside in favor of Mills Lane. Yada, 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 yada. Stuff happened. Tyson bit his ear off. Tyson bit his ear off.
Each of his ears.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. In Tyson's defense, I guess this is what our boxing fan friend Greg Tonner always tells us is Holyfield was clutching too much, and Tyson needed to do something to get him to stop clutching. And apparently he decided that biting his ears was the way to do it.
I just like the idea that he bites the ears, and I believe they stop the fight. And
after the first one.
And they go, okay, is everyone cool? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
and then he got a chunk.
Yeah,
he got a chunk. It was the third round. The first time Tyson bit him, the match was temporarily stopped. Referee Mill Lane deducted 2 points from Tyson.
Only 2 points.
Yeah, well, it was a little bite the first time. It was like a nibble.
Oh,
it was a sexy little nibble on the ear.
Mm.
And then the fight resumed. Tyson did it again. Tyson was disqualified, and Holyfield won the match. One bite was severe enough to remove a piece of Holyfield's right ear, which was found on the ring floor after the fight.
Interesting story.
Yeah.
At one point, Jordan and myself are together in Las Vegas. We're walking through the MGM Grand, and we go walking by Evander Holyfield himself.
Wow.
So Jordan and I both try to be cool. We get past and
we look
both
tough.
turn.
We try to look tough.
Yeah, and we both go was that Evander Holyfield? Oh my God, yes it was. And then in unison we both stop and we go, did you look at his ear? And then we both go, no, it didn't occur to me.
Neither of us thought.
Didn't get a look at the bum ear.
And that's the thing. Since I've told that story, I'm like, hey, I saw someone in Vegas. I saw Evander Holyfield. I wanted to be like, what were his ears like? God damn it! I didn't look.
A long, storied boxing career, ultimately going to be remembered largely for one thing, and that's being Vincent Van Gogh by somebody else.
Closer to Mr. Spock,
right?
In terms of how the ears now appear.
Mr. Spock. We have very little time, but I want to get to his entertainment career. So he went bankrupt in 2003.
Yep. I'd say I feel bad for him, except that I don't.
Yeah, but after professional boxing, he started doing wonderfully, as you may have noticed from The Hangover. He was in The Hangover.
So he apparently did not have any sort of lasting impact to the horrible event that was his bankruptcy.
No. He didn't. He came back. He bounced
some sort of
right
thing
in.
where it was after that happened, he kept feeling terrible for a while.
No, I mean there was some sad stuff.
Just say it, Joel.
like a career blip that followed his bankruptcy.
You're gonna make me find it, aren't you?
No, just keep going.
Oh, okay.
I was making a joke about the name of the movie that brought him back.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about the death of his children. Moving on.
Jeez, Joel. Insensitive, man.
Yeah,
Insensitive.
I seriously thought that you wanted me to talk about that, and I'm like, I was going to breeze by.
I didn't know it happened. Whoops.
Well, moving on, Joel. Jeez. Now he's touring with the popular one-man show,
which is apparently good.
Yeah,
it's his
I've
show.
Heard tell,
well, it's a one-man, I guess.
Yeah. So he's touring with his one-man show right now. It's selling out all over the place, including Los Angeles. It's about his life. It's apparently very funny.
One man, 5 titles, 2.5 years. Mike Tyson.
Yeah. So he call it a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that brings an end to another Weird Sportsmen!
Citizens of Podcast Town, this brings to the close another sports podcast. Before we go, we're going to give a good corporate citizen, Francis Guggenheim, a chance to come back and tell you our contact information.
You can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. That's sportspodcast@yourgmail.com. You can tweet at us at sports3podcast. That's sports3podcast. You can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast in your cute little, quaint little top bar thingy. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Download the Stitcher app today at Stitcher.com and search for the Sports Podcast. You can find us on your YouTubes by going to youtube.com/comedypodnet. While you're there, please subscribe. You can find us on SoundCloud by searching soundcloud.com/Sports Podcast. You can find us on iTunes by searching Sports 3, all one word, Space Podcast. That's Sports 3, that's all one word, Space Podcast. Or you can find all of our back episodes at comedypodcastnetwork.com.
Thank you very much, Francis.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Hey, listen, just as an experiment here, we got an extra burrito from Phil's Run earlier. Do you want to try what actual working class food tastes like?
I know what that is.
Yeah.
That's steaming garbage inside of tinfoil.
No,
I've seen that before.
You're unable to differentiate between a burrito and garbage?
It's all garbage to me if it's not quail.
Lights off.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.